Jesus.
Well, to some on this fine July 4th weekend, maybe some people are celebrating.
Yeah.
Many of us are not.
Yes.
But you know what is? It is happening? This moment right here, right now. I'm John.
And I'm Kendra.
Welcome to another edition of Ringside.
Patriotic edition. Yeah, we're not talking about anything necessarily patriotic.
No.
We did go to a 4th of July party.
It was more of a birthday party.
It was a birthday party. But we drank alcohol. What's more American than that?
Hey, the freedom to drink more alcohol while we still have it.
Yeah.
We're gonna take every opportunity to do it. So yeah, welcome to another edition of Ringside, you guys. We have a fun little lineup of things to talk about. We're gonna list them off now. That way you can fast forward or pause or come back to it whenever you feel like it.
Yeah.
All right. So first, we're gonna be talking about the immersive Phantom of the Opera production known as Masquerade NYC. I think it's just called Masquerade, but we're gonna be talking about that first. Mm-hmm. Some of the latest goings-ons, happenings in WWE, and then finally for the end of the episode, we're going to be going full spoilers, talking about the latest MCU series, Ironheart. So let's say we just get right into it.
It's me jumping in. I've done that before.
Huh?
Me jumping in an intro. I've done that before.
I think that's something we've both done consistently since we've started this channel.
And it wasn't funny not once. Maybe the first time. The 8th time, not so much.
I mean, it's been years. I think it's been more than 8.
Oh God, it has been years. We're getting old.
I know.
We're getting up there. We ate some fried chicken.
You're 30.
I'm 30 now, and my body's reminding me because it said fried chicken. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah.
And now it's beating me up from the inside out.
I said she's 30, like I'm not over 30 years old.
Yeah, you're 32.
Oh, I'm gonna be 32.
Close enough.
I mean, you're not wrong. I'm closer to 32 than I am 30.
I was gonna say something, but it's not a good.
You see what I deal with? All right. Well,
sorry. I'm just gonna.
Fuck you. Let's get into this. So, Kendra recently learned about. I've been following this for a hot minute, but Kendra recently learned that he's back.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. To some of us, he never left.
That's true.
Just because the Phantom closes on Broadway doesn't mean the Phantom's closing in my heart. And he's been there the whole time. Eric. Horrible name. Anyway.
He didn't name himself.
Maybe he did.
Well, he might have actually.
Because his mom didn't. His mom was like, ugh. Maybe his mom was like,
I'll go.
Maybe she was like, Eric. And he was like, my name must be Eric.
Oh, like a French thing. Like the French way of being gagged. Leclerc.
Yeah. Charles Leclerc. No, but I'm such a huge Phantom fan. Well, apparently I'm a faux Phantom fan because I did not know.
Faux.
What?
PH faux. Like faux. You said you're a faux Phantom fan, and I said PH.
Oh, yeah. So you're just spelling it in a new fun way.
Yeah, like how you would spell Phantom.
Yes. Okay, I get it, John. Sorry. It's been a long day. I've been couch shopping all day with my mom. Anyway, but yeah, I had no idea that they were doing an immersive Phantom production, which...
How do you feel about that?
Sounds terrifying. First of all, okay, there's an important thing to note about me. I don't like participating, quite frankly, in anything, but I don't like audience participation. I don't like it. When the characters come up to me at Disney, I don't like it. I don't like any of that. I worked tech theater, so I could be behind the scenes.
So you wouldn't have to interact with anybody else.
I don't want to be perceived by a single person, let alone an actor. Ugh. Well, and then they start talking to me? No.
Yeah.
An immersive, and also Phantom of the Opera is scary. Like if you're sitting there on the stage and you're seeing it from afar, no big deal. It's just a classic love story about nothing problematic at all. But if you're in it and there's just an Uggo with powers, that's terrifying. I don't want to be immersed into that universe.
Right. Well, I'm like, what is... And again, I've been following it, but they've also been kind of keeping everything mysterious, letting basically fans do all the social media work for them. Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're just talking about what could be this...
What does it mean?
What does it mean for the Phantom of the Opera, Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera, to be immersive?
Yeah.
Like, are you going from room to room? Like, there's so many things we could be doing. Are you
Surely we're not going room to room.
Are you seated? Are you dancing? Are you standing up and you're dancing?
My ass is standing up dancing through a 2.5 hour production of Phantom of the Opera, I'm gonna be livid. Here's my thing. When you first told me, the first thought that came to my mind was, oh, we're like, what's it called? The Opera Populaire?
Yeah.
Whatever the theater's called. We're seated in the audience of that theater. That would be such a good cop-out way to do an immersive theater experience, because it's like, oh yeah, you guys are like in France in whatever the fuck, and
here's the thing, they might do that.
So
look, immersive, I mean, it doesn't have to mean you're standing up the entire time, but it could. Well, like they did a production of Sweeney Todd a few years ago in New York City, where it was in an actual like meat shop. They did and it was like cafeteria style seating.
They stink.
And there was like food there, and they were like serving them up when she was singing about serving them up meat pies.
So it's dinner theater.
That particular production doubled as that with the immersive nature of it all.
Do you think the food tasted good?
In Sweeney?
Yeah.
I'm sure someone's mentioned it before, but I don't know.
That'd be crazy if they were like,
I would hope so.
Well, the food is ass on purpose because it's people, you idiot.
They fed you raccoon meat.
Your $300 ticket.
Like in Always Sunny.
You cats.
Remember in Always Sunny when he made them think they ate people meat, but instead it was just raccoon meat?
That's worse.
So that's what those fucking people, those yuppies in New York were eating.
I saw someone went to a zoo in Ireland, and they had on exhibit raccoons.
Because they don't have them over there.
They don't have them over there. And this girl was walking past, and she was like, if you were born in like Connecticut, you would have been free eating trash out of a dumpster, and they got you locked up here. Anyway, sorry, just a fun raccoon story. But yeah, immersive.
That's interesting.
Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, so my thing is, like you said, we love the show here. That's the official show of Perez Periódico.
It kind of is.
The Phantom of the Opera. One thing we agree on. Okay. But yeah, I'm like, there's several moments in that show that I'm like, that would be uncomfortable. Like that would be kind of scary. Like the going into the lair for the first time.
Yeah, your feet are wet.
You're fucking.
Like, what the fuck?
They have a whole room flooded.
They start sinking the stage.
You have to get in a little boat and follow them.
And also, the Phantom famously is a serial killer. So my thing is like, what if you get murdered in the immersive Phantom of the Opera experience? You get fucking killed.
One person dies every show.
Yeah.
One person's the lighting guy.
Yeah.
He's the first to get got in there.
Yeah.
Piangi's later.
That we see. Yeah.
They're running through tenors like crazy in this production. So yeah, I don't know
what it means, and
I'm looking forward to it. I probably won't see it because on account that we don't live in New York.
On account of it sounds real far away and expensive, but
it's fucking selling like crazy. Apparently, the first block of tickets have sold out in hours.
This is like what if this is an H.H. Holmes like murder hotel where they're just getting people to pay for their own demise? Guys, we don't know. We've never done it before.
Knives Out, Phantom of the Opera.
I think it'll probably be fun and interesting because it's Phantom, and Phantom is so fun and interesting.
I don't want this to happen, but imagine this is a good plot for a Knives Out movie. Like there's an immersive theater play or musical.
Yeah.
And someone gets...
Well, I'm sure that this has happened before. There was also Phantom of the Megaplex. We could be describing the plot of Phantom of the Megaplex. I never saw it. You know why? Because it scared the shit out of me as a kid. I wasn't going to watch that. But also, like, there was that one, what was it called? Trapped? It was like a concert. They put on a concert to trap a serial killer.
I think it's just called Trap.
Trapped
is a band. We don't fuck with them around here.
My bad. I didn't know. But I'm sure we're describing the plot to something.
But I'm just saying, like, Benoit Blanc in a theater setting. Benoit Blanc who Zoom calls with Stephen Sondheim. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, he did do that. Do you think... by immersive, what if we're in like, not the Sphere obviously because that's in a different part of the world, but what if it's like
in the Statue of Liberty's fucking torch?
No. What's it called? The stage where they filmed The Mandalorian?
Oh, like a volume?
Yeah. They just put you in there so there are screens all around you.
That
could be kind of cool.
That could be kind of neat. as you know, as much as I am a fan of practical, I think you still have to maintain practical, but that would give another layer of like really immersing you into something.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure it's going to be like, it's probably going to be closer to what you see at like an Avengers campus or a Galaxy's Edge, where the people working there are all sort of in character. You'll have people coming around with hors d'oeuvres.
I don't like that. Oh, or what if it's like the Carousel of Progress, where we're on like a thing, we're seated in the audience and we just spin past different rooms.
I could see them having maybe, well, yeah. I could also see them having, like during the Masquerade scene,
That
like
I can see
they'll
them
have
going
people
out.
like sort of guiding audience members on what the dance is for
Yeah,
certain
as if-
parts.
Listen, and that's how you know that these people are fake fans. Because what do you mean you don't have the Masquerade dance memorized before you get there? Pathetic.
They release some choreography videos ahead of time.
K-pop dance choreography
You have to-
mirrored.
You've got to
75%
go
speed.
practice before you come see our show.
No uggos, no fatty.
No uggos, no fatties, no olds.
You're in the production. That's what it is.
Oh my god, I didn't learn. I don't know my
learn my
lines.
line.
I don't know
Oh,
my
yeah,
lines.
when you told me about there being an immersive production or something, or you were like, you're in the production. I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't learn my lines.
I don't know any of my music.
It's like
I've
a
had those.
nightmare.
I have had those nightmares. I've had those nightmares of like being in a show or not even starting rehearsals for a show, but then
You're in
dreaming
it.
of opening night already,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my god, I haven't practiced. Yeah.
That's so terrifying. And I think it's worse for you because like that is still your career. I have school dreams still. That's how you know school wasn't traumatizing, is when you're still dreaming about it 15 years later. But I have dreams where I'm like, especially like college age, when I could and did skip class a lot, I would have dreams that I skipped the whole semester right until the final exam. And I'm like, I forgot that I took this class, like that I signed up for it. I never went and I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I still have those dreams. But then when I wake up, I'm like, oh, it's okay. It's just a dream. When you wake up, you're like, I am in a show.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my god, I don't know my lines. I don't know my fucking music.
If you've ever seen John in any performance, he's ad-libbing the whole thing,
Half the time.
making it up as he
There
goes.
was one show I did where I'm sure I did a little theater lingo for you. I had a monologue and I went up, so I forgot my lines. And I was like, okay, this feels like the longest stretch of time.
Yeah.
So I started the monologue again because it was in a song. It was part of a song, and like the piano was just looping, not looping, just they were repeating
Yeah.
a phrase until I could
Until you moved
get to the next part because they were waiting for a cue line.
Yeah.
I started the monologue again. I could not remember what the rest
The
of my
same
lines were.
spot?
Same spot.
Damn.
And so I sat there and I'm like in the moment, but I'm like, I don't know my fucking lines. I don't know my fucking lines. I don't know my fucking lines. Luckily, I remembered the one line I could remember was the cue line to get into the song. So I just jumped straight ahead to that. And then the rest of the song went, and the rest of the show went fine. But to me, it felt like I was there for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
From what I hear, it was more like
5 seconds.
5-6 seconds. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't too bad. But oh my God.
That's terrifying. That's my worst nightmare.
I'm still thinking of Benoit Blanc at the theater.
Oh my God. So you think of Benoit Blanc everywhere at all times. You got to stop.
Appears one of our thespians.
Has been
Method
incorrect
acting.
as the murderer. That wasn't bad, actually. That's probably the best Benoit Blanc I've ever done. Thank God it was recorded. That was good.
Call the babysitter. Tell them we're staying out late tonight.
Okay, no, because this Benoit Blanc is more like a smoothed out player from the streets. I don't like that.
Sorry, I just bring my little bit of myself to all of
Just a
my
little bit of self
characters.
into your role. Ugh.
Anyway, so we're going to keep following this immersive Masquerade production. I am happy to know that there is a production of Phantom in New York.
It's only right.
It's only right. New York feels whole again.
Yeah.
But anyway, so more to come on that as we learn more the uggos and poors who live all the way not in New York. Anyway, let's say we move on to another one of our favorite forms of theater, as we like to say here, the WWE.
Wrestling.
Sports entertainment. All right, so a lot's happening in the world of WWE. We've gotten new kings and queens of the ring and some theories to go along with that. We have a couple of PLEs. Feels like we have a fucking couple PLEs every goddamn week.
Yeah.
It's starting to feel like.
Yeah, this has been a pretty jam-packed summer.
Yeah. And I just feel like, don't get me wrong, it's more wrestling to watch, which is always, fun. But at the same time, when there's not a lot of room to breathe between these things, it starts to feel like, all right,
a lot.
Do any of these things matter?
Yeah.
And then I get all existential and I'm like, well, what really matters in life, But anyway, we have 2 on the horizon. We have Saturday night, well, really 3. We have NXT's Great American Bash. Then we have Saturday night's main event and Evolution 2. So very excited. It's a jam-packed weekend. And here's the thing. I don't know why. Kendra, you're not going to like this. I don't know if it's nostalgia, or I don't know if it's just WWE doing a pretty good job so far. I'm getting kind of hyped for Gunther and Goldberg.
It's nostalgia. No, I'm just kidding.
Listen, the video package they put together for Goldberg on the last Raw. Listen, seeing his again, the highlights of his career are essentially a series of 2-minute matches for almost 180 matches, right? But I don't know, he was just so fucking big and cool and whatever. And then showing that to now and what he's done, not that he's done a whole lot since he made his return, but I don't know. It was a fun hype package that I was like, man, am I excited for this match?
I think it's okay to be excited. I'm excited for it as a Gunt match because I love Gunt.
And that's her name for Gunther, everybody.
Yeah. I call him that exclusively.
I know, but sometimes we do that, and I think, man, what if this is someone's first episode?
Yeah, and Gunt is pretty harsh on the ears. But yeah, that's because everyone says Gunther, but that's not correct. As we know,
Gunther.
There's no sound in German, which is why they're called Neanderthals.
Oh, I can't stop.
So instead of saying Gunther or Gunther or whatever, I just say Gunt. It's just easier, and you know who I'm talking about. Who else could possibly be Gunt?
What do you think he would think if he was listening to this right now?
I think he would enjoy having a cute little nickname. I think he'd be fine with it.
And then he'd chop me.
It's a term of endearment. He wouldn't chop me. I'm fine.
He'd chop me for your sins.
For my disrespect. I know, I think he'd appreciate it.
Anyway.
But yeah, so I'm looking at it purely as a Gunt match, and I'm excited for it for that reason. I don't care about Goldberg because I didn't watch wrestling when I was a kid. I didn't watch wrestling when Goldberg was the cool guy that they would bring out for his 2-minute match and then put him back in his cage or whatever. I don't know what they were keeping Goldberg in. He certainly couldn't be on the loose.
Slab of meat and just let him feed for a while.
But yeah, I think it'll be fine, and I do think it'll be longer than 2 minutes, but not by much.
What if it's the last hour of the show?
That honestly, as a last I'm gonna prove all the fucking haters wrong. I would love to see him pull out an hour-long match. He won't, but
but
he would be cool.
I am interested in the match though, because I feel like a lot of eyes are gonna be on this match for any sort of reasons, whether people are looking forward to it, whether people are hate watching it, whatever. I would love if in this scenario he really just like WWE, Gunther, Goldberg, they just surprise us with a true last hurrah of a match. And I think this is why they put Gunther in a match with Pat McAfee, because Gunther will make you look good.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be like a little cliche match, whatever. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it.
Do you think Goldberg's son will be involved at all? It kind of felt like
Silverberg.
I don't know about that, but it kind of felt like his son was a big part of that whole beef to begin with.
Yeah, well, I'm just glad his son's okay, because didn't he get mauled by Bobby Lashley?
He did get beat the fuck up by Bobby Lashley. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So, but I remember the first time he came out, he was still a teenager.
Yeah.
He's probably fucking 50 by now. Probably forever ago. But I could see especially if the son wants to one day go into wrestling.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool. I know if I were a parent, I'd be like, my last match, let me put over my young man.
My kid. I think his kid's in college right now.
Yeah. I think so. I think he does a different sport. He might do
probably
wrestling.
Football. I don't know. They all fucking play football.
They all did football, yeah. Did Goldberg play football?
Yeah, he played in the NFL, I think. I think he played for the Vikings.
Oh.
Or
are
the Ravens a team? The Ravens are a team.
Yes. Baltimore.
Yeah. I think he played for the Vikings though. I could be wrong. I don't listen. I'm sports. I watch sports. Cool. Watch sports entertainment.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's a few matches being announced as we get closer and closer to the actual date. Mm-hmm. So, but this is obviously the big one that everyone was talking about. But we just also got LA Knight versus Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. So we're gonna get some good matches.
Yeah.
Again, I hope they figure something out with the ads.
I think their version of figuring something out with the ads was what they already did, which is putting as many in as possible.
Because honestly, like at this point, is it worth it to watch it live? Is it better to just wait and just watch the stream after?
Fast forward.
Well, I mean, are they even going to include the ads in on Peacock?
Oh yeah, I think Peacock usually they cut them out.
So
honestly, yeah,
something to fucking think about.
Especially if it's going the way it has been, where it's like not much actually happens.
Well, when we were there, when they did it in Tampa, like
I don't remember most of what happened that night. It was stressful.
Well, we didn't. I mean, there were a lot of in-show ads, but they didn't happen during the matches.
Yeah,
we got to see some pretty good. Well, I thought they were pretty good matches, but not everyone else at home got to see those.
But like, what did anything noteworthy happen?
Yeah, we had John Cena versus R-Truth, and R-Truth came out as John Cena. Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest had a cage match.
Shit, yeah.
We had Bronson Reed returned.
Oh, yeah. We were really excited for that.
Oh, my God. It's like you're experiencing it for the first time again.
I know. Imagine that. You know what? Sometimes life.
I do have a bunch of videos. I can show them to you. I am screaming in them.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. I don't need to remember that. I hear that enough already.
I will say Evolution. So we weren't watching WWE when they did the first Evolution. So really excited to really just
this is our first Evolution.
Get to see our first Evolution like as it's happening, even if it is one of those like they're just trying to do as many PLEs as possible. So they're like, hey, let's do another Evolution. That sounds fun.
It also feels like,
but I'm excited for it to happen.
It kind of feels like it came together last minute a little bit. But you know what? If anyone can do it and do it well, it's the women's division. Even if they didn't have a lot of time to prepare, even if it's on the back of like, I feel like we just did a PLE in a foreign country. Like I have faith that they'll be able to turn it out and make it something really, really good.
Well, apparently Beyonce's performing across the street from them that same night.
Really?
So I'm like, damn, y'all really didn't. Oof.
The traffic.
I know.
Maybe Beyonce will stop by.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Well, I just think of anyone who's not on the fucking card, are they really gonna be upset and be like, I'm gonna go see Beyonce. I guess I'll go see Beyonce.
Beyonce is splitting the girly pop, the local girly pop population.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna go to Beyonce.
Where do you think Green Shirt Guy's gonna go?
Huh?
Do you think Green Shirt Guy's gonna go see Beyonce, or do you think he's gonna see Evolution? Think of all the stuff Green Shirt Guy probably goes to that's not wrestling. And we just don't know he's there because our eyes aren't on it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm sure his schedule's jam fucking packed because he's always at everything wrestling. Yeah. He might not have time to do anything else.
Yeah.
He's on a wrestler's schedule, but he's there all the time. So his in between is traveling.
Yeah.
That's all he does.
But we definitely have Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley coming up at Evolution. We've got Jade Cargill versus Naomi. We've got a Battle Royal. And this one, I wrote it down in our notes as a question of like, could this happen?
Oh, this was before.
But we got it officially confirmed. It's Tiffy Time versus Trish let me try all that again.
Yeah.
It's Tiffy Time, Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus.
Stratus Faction.
Stratus Factory. Now, lifelong Trish Stratus fan over here. So like, what the hell are we doing, guys?
I'm really excited.
Me too.
We thought that this was going to come last time.
Well, it should have happened. Sorry, I'm a little salty about this. This match should have already happened at Elimination Chamber last year or earlier this year.
Yeah.
I get it. And on the one hand, maybe it's better that it didn't happen then because it being the road to WrestleMania, you're not going to have one of your biggest stars lose their title right before WrestleMania. So like, okay, fine, whatever. But it was in her home country.
Yeah.
It would have been.
Were there.
It would have been cool.
Yeah.
So I am excited to see this match. I think Trish still puts on banger matches whenever she's around.
She does.
And again, just, being a fan, whatever, aside, like her run as a heel in her matches against Becky Lynch, especially the cage match, you guys, so slept on, such an underappreciated run when she was around. And yeah, so I'm excited to see her in a match with Tiffany, who again, I think I don't think Trish really misses too much of a beat when she's in the ring, but if anyone's going to also like only help her look even better,
Yeah.
Tiffany's a really great person to have in the ring with you.
Trish?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm of the same mind. It's hard because I also wasn't around when Trish was around. Like I wasn't watching it back then. But I feel like sometimes I feel like maybe she even performs better now. Or maybe it's just that they're actually like they give women more to do now.
Yeah.
But I feel like she wrestles like someone like half of her age. It's crazy. She's still so flexible and strong.
So all that yoga she does.
Yeah.
She's like doing handstands.
Yeah.
Half the time she's awake in the day.
So I'm like, as long as you can safely do it. Keep doing it. I would love for her to be able to get a chance at the titles that women didn't have 2 years ago, let alone when she was like in her full-time WWE era.
Right.
But yeah, I'm always happy to see Trish Stratus, even though Trish Stratus.
Yes.
Those are hard.
It's that shh and then this back to back. Yeah. I messed it up a little while ago.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, we got TS versus TS.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, do you think Tiffany Stratton picked that name to be a little bit Trish-esque?
Maybe.
Someone needs to ask her. Someone ask her that.
I'm sure she said it somewhere before.
We need another Kelly. I need another double name.
Kendra.
That's so good.
That should just be your... Remember in our early days of pre-preview, we would come up with names, and then it became too hard.
Because we used all the good ones.
Yeah.
We did all the funny stuff first.
But you should have just been Kendra.
Should have just been Kendra. I might have been actually at one point Kendra.
Yeah. Kendra.
Kathy Kendra.
So it's not on my list, but I do want to talk about this because the idea's gained a little bit of traction online. Well, not traction, but attention in terms of our social media. So I put out a theory. Let's talk about our King of the Ring, Cody Rhodes. King Cody. Won on his birthday or his birthday weekend or something like that. I don't know.
His birthday, 4th of July?
No. At Night of Champions, he won King of the Ring.
Right.
I think that was around his birthday.
Okay.
Anyway, so all that to say, I've noticed something. Shortly after he won King of the Ring, like a day or two later, we see that it's been, I think it was Deadline, confirmed. They broke the news that Cody Rhodes, along with
everyone,
the ragtag group of Hollywood celebrities they have, is now going to be in the Street Fighter movie playing Guile, which is honestly perfect casting. And to the naked eye, that's just like, oh, that makes sense. Roman Reigns is already in it. You know, it seems like a combat game. So like
wrestlers act all the time.
Yeah, come on. Like that's just like a natural thing. But old Johnny P, he's got a keen eye for this sort of thing. Now, just go with me here, you guys. The idea is that Cody Rhodes lands this big movie role. I mean, it's the biggest movie role he's gotten, right? Shortly after winning King of the Ring, he's got a big title match against John Cena. He's getting all this stuff. He's got the podcasts. He's getting all these eyes on him. A promise that was made to him as long as he sold his soul to one final boss.
Very
The Rock.
Suspicious.
So I'm like, listen, we're teasing, planting seedlings of ideas of maybe Cody Rhodes going heel. Now I know. The likelihood of the WWE's biggest star today going heel at such a point in time where he's super popular.
We're not talking about Tongaloa. This is about Cody Rhodes.
The second biggest face they have right now. Going heel. I know a lot of people are going to be like, no, there's no way. And maybe you're right. You know what? You're probably right. But here's the thing. I don't think it's impossible. And I think they could make Cody. I don't think if he ever turns heel in WWE, I think what's going to happen, what makes the most sense, momentary lapse of judgment. I think he's reluctant at it. I think any heel run he has, in my mind, it plays he goes heel, so John Cena is face. John Cena brings him back to the light as he ends his final run in WWE. That's what I see happening.
Very short heel run.
Yes,
Cody.
I don't think. Again, it's Cody Rhodes. They're not going to keep.
It would be so fun to have a heel Cody Rhodes. Let's milk that for what we can.
And who knows? I think my theory, what happens after, I don't know. But how we get there, listen, WWE, if you use these ideas, I want tickets to something.
I want a writer's credit.
Because I just did you a fucking job for you. Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, Cody was looking a little grimier out in the ring than normal.
He wasn't hesitating
to do the dirty stuff.
To be a little bad boy out there.
Bad boy. Like
in Spy Kids?
In Spy Kids 2 Island of Lost Dreams.
The superior of the Spy Children.
The Spy Kids movies. Spy Children.
the Spy Kids franchise. Anyway, so I just wanted to bring that up because I think maybe.
I don't think it's impossible either.
Anyway, one last thing. Let's talk a little bit about Jade Cargill.
Oh.
Now listen, hey, we were there when Jade debuted.
We were there.
In ring. We were at the Royal Rumble in St. Petersburg, Tampa.
Yeah, St. Petersburg, which is in Tampa.
Which is around Tampa.
Famously. It's actually all
everything's in Tampa.
Tampa, Clearwater, St. Petersburg, it's all in one big city.
It's all Tampa.
And it's all Tampa.
Yeah, all Tampa all the time. Anyway,
I hate Tampa.
It's right next to Disney. So something I noticed is that after she won, we predicted that Jade would probably be the queen of the ring on our last pay-per-view. And you know what? I was fine with it. I'm fine with that. But I notice no matter what Jade Cargill does, and I know there's an obvious reason for this, but let's just talk about this a little bit. Jade Cargill, no matter what she does, no matter how much she improves in her matches, always gets this hate. Yeah. Now I notice, especially online, it's probably people being racist, misogynists.
Yeah.
You know, like we can't ignore that.
Yeah.
You know, but like it's not just me. Like I feel like every time, this is like the biggest thing she's done since being a tag team champion. But this was just her day one-ish. You know, I feel like she's improved. She's not doing these 2-minute squash matches. You know, she's going in there and, you know, are there like mistakes that happen? There's mistakes in every match. There's mistakes with the most seasoned of people. AJ Styles tore his ACL 2 minutes into a match with Carmelo Hayes. Like, you know,
it happens.
She's not out there getting injured or anything, but like if she messes up a move every now and again.
I also think it's very weird when people blame the wrestlers for getting injured. It's one thing when you like botch something, you did it wrong and you get injured. Okay. But like sometimes like my mom, she had to have neck surgery recently. Everyone, well wishes to Connie. She did that because she caught herself. She didn't fall. She slipped and caught herself and gave herself whiplash and slipped 2 discs, and then a year later had to have surgery. She slipped and caught herself. She didn't fall. She was just like, whoa, slipped 2 discs, surgery. Like injuries can happen doing nothing.
And there was no one injured in this match, obviously. No. But like I think there was like something that messed up at the end of the match. I didn't even really notice it. It looked a little weird.
Oh my God. It was her doing her like pin move. She just like slipped down a little bit. I saw people complaining about that too. They're like, she completely messed up the end of the match. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
No, she didn't.
Like,
and I think people also kind of have a chip on their shoulder with Jade because she was able to come over as this like hot commodity. She was signed by the WWE as like one of the most sought after free agents, blah, blah, blah. And then she still needed time in the Performance Center. And I think people still have a chip on their shoulder from that. So until she starts doing like these crazy, like insane matches that are solid, like 99% solid, I don't think people are going to give her the credit she deserves.
And that's just insane to me because again, like I feel like in the time that she's been in that we've seen her like in matches, like you could see very clearly when she was put on a tag team with Bianca that she was kept out of the ring for like most of the match, right? And like that's fine. Like, you know, that's someone that they're banking a lot on, so like you got to protect them at the beginning, but also someone who's still very much learning. And she's not learning, she's no longer off TV or off a PLE learning in the Performance Center. She's on the job training. Like you take what you've learned and you have to implement it now. And granted, WWE style is very much like it is entertainment. So you're going to see if someone has a specific moveset, believe me, every live show, the same way if you go to see the Phantom of the Opera, you're going to see them do Music of the Night and you're going to hear him sing the high note. Yeah. You're going to get the hits. You're going to get what they're known for.
Yeah.
So like, you know, so Jade's going to hit a big boot. She's going to hit the Jaded like every single time. I don't think we need to, or she's going to do her fun little pin most of the time. We don't have to bitch about that. And if it messes up, like, I don't know. I think it's also just the way we consume wrestling and knowing, or at least empathizing with the fact that they are live performers and athletes. Like, she's grown so much from having these 2-minute matches against, you know, people who get squashed in matches. I can't think of anyone in specific. Like, she had a full match with Asuka.
Yeah.
Like, that's no joke.
She did a full match with Asuka with no help from the crowd at all.
Right.
Which, apparently, from what I can only imagine, you're a performer. You need their claps for survival. I can't imagine what it's like to go out there and perform to crickets when you're doing like, hey, that's my best stuff. Like you're doing your big moves, and usually people are cheering. So even some people are cheering, and just nothing is happening. You have no energy to feed off of.
Oh my God, that's and like again, I'm not out there fucking jumping off the top rope of anything, but like, yeah, I mean, I've done shows where even if it's a full house, if the audience is quiet, it's not necessarily indicative of whether or not they like the show.
Yeah.
But as a performer, you don't know that. Like
it like throws you off, I feel.
And Leslie Odom Jr. did say if it's not their job, it's not the audience's job to let you know whether or not they're performing. As an actor, you have a job to do. Go focus on that. I'm like that. So that helps me, but not everyone thinks like that, So like, especially if you're someone that is looking for, especially if you have like a comedic bit and no one's laughing, you're like, oh shit, maybe I'm not funny. Maybe I suck.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I agree. But anyway, just a little thought piece, I guess, on Jade Cargill. Again, we're fans, and I like what she's been doing, and I like how they've been presenting her. Love anytime she comes out in full, just storm getup. The storm getup was really cool.
She's cosplaying up there.
She's cosplaying it. And you know what? Good for her.
Good for her.
But no, I'm excited for it, and I'm excited that they're giving her like storylines. This continued storyline with Naomi, which I do think we'll see come to a head. I know they have a match coming up, but I really think we'll see it come to a head in SummerSlam. We'll see. I think Naomi's cashing in at SummerSlam personally. I don't know. It's just sometimes the IWC.
I think people just get into their heads like me with Goldberg. I don't like this person.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to sway. I also have similar feelings about Maxine. Maxine Dupree has come such a long way. And I feel like she doesn't get credit for that either.
We need to see not the Diamond Dolls. That's a strip club in Daytona.
Oh my God.
The Dungeon Dolls. Excuse me. You see why I got confused.
Sure.
The Dungeon Dolls. We need to see them actually compete.
I think we're going to see them very soon.
That merch has Kendra written all over it.
It better be fucking pink. Don't put their shit on a black t-shirt.
Well,
don't piss me off.
It's probably going to be on a black t-shirt.
Maybe white.
Maybe white.
Maybe a nice like blended, maybe like a
acid wash.
What is it called? Comfort colors. Oh my God. Put your shit on a comfort colors.
Yeah.
Like a cream comfort colors.
I don't like the way you said cream. I don't know. It just hit my ear.
Crime.
Crime.
Who said crime?
Fighting evil by moonlight.
What do they say?
I don't know. I don't know why.
Why does my brain say making love? I don't think that's right. She wasn't making love with anyone.
Well,
I think she was like 13.
Oh no! I was gonna say that fucking guy in the mask.
He was 40. No, I don't know.
The Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, it is kind of How old is Christine Daae supposed to be? Did anyone check? Ooh.
Old enough to party, I guess.
Let's say 25.
Let's hope 25.
And Eric is like 300 or whatever. Isn't he like really old?
With that face, who knows?
It's hard to tell.
He lives in a fucking lair. He doesn't get a lot of vitamin D.
We can't go to the immersive Phantom of the Opera experience because we'll make a joke about Eric and he'll slit our throats.
It's true.
Oh no, he'll lasso us.
Yeah.
Or whatever he does. His magical lasso.
That's why you have to watch the whole show with one eye.
You have to keep your hands like this.
At the level of your eye.
At the level of your eye.
At the level of your eye.
I'm here.
Oh my God! Imagine the freaking Phantom pops. We can't keep going back to everything.
You know that one part in Phantom where he's like, I'm here, and it's from different. And then I was saying this to you. What if one came right next to your ear and they just whisper, I'm here? I would scream. I would run out of the theater. Keep my money. Keep my $500 that I paid to be in this immersive experience.
Remember when they did? I can't believe we're talking about this again. Remember when they did?
I can.
The Phantom of the Opera roller coaster. We need to do let's just go all in. Phantom of the Opera Halloween Horror Nights Haunted House.
Yes. Well,
but it's got to be Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera. It can't be the old monster movie.
No. It can't be based off the book. No, it has to be based off the book, the musical book.
The good book.
The good book. The Phantom of the Opera book. No, I think we could do it, and I think it could be fun. Or like some kind of dark ride. Phantom dark ride?
Yeah.
There's so much possibility. Why is no one talking about Phantom of the Opera ever? Why is it always just us?
Hey, listen. It would be because it's our duty.
It's
Anyway,
because it's fucking 50 years old and no one cares about it.
speaking of Phantom of the Opera, so all right, now we're gonna go into a full spoiler talk sesh about the MCU, Marvel Studios, Marvel Television's Ironheart. So if you have not finished it in its entirety and you continue to listen from this point on,
That's your fault.
that's on you, fam.
That's on you. You're gonna get spoiled for a lot of stuff. Future stuff too.
Yeah. So if you haven't watched it and you have the intention of watching it, press pause here, save this, go watch it, come back, fucking party with us.
Oh.
Okay? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, so this is officially your spoiler warning. We're not holding back from here on out, from now to the end of time in perpetuity.
In perpetuity.
In perpetuity.
Mind your profanity. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Mephisto's here.
He's here. I'm here.
My God. Yeah, truly. Wow. I feel like it's been such a long journey, a long Mephisto journey. We've thought he's been here. He's been hinted at. He's been speculated, but he's finally here. Speaking of Phantom of the Opera, it's Sacha Baron Cohen, who was famously not in Phantom of the Opera.
But he could have been.
He could have been if he wanted to.
He probably should have been.
He was in
Les Mis.
He was in Les Mis, and he was in Sweeney Todd.
He was in Sweeney Todd.
He was in Sweeney Todd.
He was in Sweeney Todd first.
He pissed in jars in Sweeney Todd. Yeah. He could have been in Phantom if he wanted to, as probably one of like the theater owners, honestly. Yeah. I would say Piangi, but he doesn't have the build for that, the girth. No. I'm so excited because I was telling my mom and my brother this in the car. Sacha Baron Cohen, for being like known for being funny, fucking scares me.
Yeah.
He's scary. I think it's just because he's really tall and really serious.
Right.
Like he's not like joking around all the time. He's like a serious artist. And he's British, and British people scare me. So I'm just, it was so good to see him bring it to life.
Yeah. This whole, and I think this is a perfect example of like this whole series. And I mean this in the best way possible. Like it is not what I was expecting it to be like at all. So just kind of an overview. Overall, just my overall reaction to the series. This one does get, I didn't think it would, but it does get, I really, really liked it. The reason why I said I didn't think I was going to give it I really, really liked it was because this series dropped all 6 episodes within the span of 2 weeks. So it dropped the first 3 episodes for the premiere and then the final 3 episodes the following week. We watched the first episode and immediately you and I just kind of looked at each other and we're like, I didn't like that episode. Yeah. Now, I will say this. It's not that I like the character a lot. It's not that I didn't like the character, and it's not even that I didn't like the story that was being set up. I thought for the most part, it was because it was a poorly written episode. Yeah. But also, this show, I also think suffered from, well, this episode, at least, suffered from Marvel Television Marvel in general had a big sort of restructure happen, especially with this TV stuff, after Bob Iger came back into the fold over at Disney, because under Bob Chapek, who was really trying to sell this, Disney Plus to everybody, it became a quantity game, right? Yeah. So they were just cranking stuff out like no one's business. So I think when they started like this big slowdown, I mean, there was one year where we got one movie. I think it was just Deadpool and Wolverine. Last year? Yeah, and nothing else. Yeah. So I think with that, they had to restructure and piece the show together and reshoot some stuff to make it make sense in a basically changing things. Yeah. And to make it make sense into what they want to do going forward. Yeah. And honestly, I think if they did it in other parts of the show, I couldn't really clock it as much. I could definitely tell in that first episode there were scenes where like Xavier and Riri were talking to each other and they were never in the same shot,
and it looked like reshoots.
It looked like green screen, like reshoots. Like I don't know, I thought, but for me it was mostly because it was like all filmmaking stuff. It wasn't really the content of the actual show, or the story I should say. It was just everything surrounding it. I agree. Yeah. So especially the dialogue, that took me out the most.
The thing that took me out the most, it was like clunky. It just felt really like clunky. And that's just kind of the struggle with the Marvel TV shows, especially the pilot episodes. Because I think people think of it and they're like, it's Marvel, right? It should be at the caliber, or at least it had like a legacy of being on the caliber of being solid. from the start.
Right.
I think people don't like when I watch a TV show, I give them like a pilot benefit of the doubt.
Right.
We don't get that with Marvel. Like people don't want to give that,
Yeah.
which I understand. I get it. But also like I'm glad that we gave the rest of the season a chance after the the first episode, because there was such a huge shift in quality.
Like immediately, like episode 2, we watched it and we're like, oh shit, that was good.
Yeah.
That was really good.
We were like, I had a similar thing where I wasn't expecting Disney to care enough about the character or the project because like they didn't market it enough.
Yeah.
And releasing all 3 episodes, the first 3 episodes, half of the season at once, like that tells me you don't have any faith.
Right.
That this is going to do well. And like, whose fault maybe is that?
Right.
So I had that in my head. And then the first episode also had a lot of like, if you didn't watch Black Panther 2, here you go. But it's like, I watched that. So it felt very, I'm getting to know a character I already got to know once before. But they have to do that because some people didn't see Black Panther 2. There, like you said, there was some filmmaking stuff. Nothing, it was never the performances. I'll say that now.
Yeah.
And I think we saw as the show went along, I think everyone did so well performance-wise, but it was like clunky dialogue, a lot of exposition that they had to like work into it, and the filmmaking stuff. There was a couple times I noticed where they broke I can't remember what it's called, but someone would be on like the right side of the screen.
It's like a continuity thing.
Yeah. And then the next shot, they'd be on the left, but we didn't get a transitional, like them moving from one side to the other shot. So it's just like they jumped to the other side of the camera. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah. It was, I think, clunky and awkward are the best 2 words to use. And I didn't think they did a good job of setting up. I promise we're going to, again, overall love the show.
We did really like the show, yeah.
We're going to get to what we liked about it. It's just that first episode. It didn't do a good job of showcasing. It was trying to do so much that it didn't do a good job of showcasing anything or anyone, in my opinion. I think we share that opinion. But anyway, moving on to the rest of the season, though.
Brighter pastures.
Like, my rule with TV is I do the 3-episode rule. Like, if you don't like it after 3 episodes, then, maybe
my thing, at least for Marvel, is like, watch it once. Right. I'll watch it all the way through once, mostly because I know something's going to pop up somewhere else later and I want to be prepared. But like, going into episode 2 was like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, like, let's see where it goes from here. Like, So good. Again, we watched all of Secret Invasion. Okay, so where
we watched all Secret Invasion and Captain America: Winter Soldier. No, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I didn't hate that show as much as you did, but
I didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't love it, but I'm right there with you. So we're in it, and I knew I'd watch the whole thing, but I just wasn't expecting that. As the show went on, I just liked it more and more. And the only like real complaint I have with the show is that I liked the dynamic of the Hood and his like crew so much that I almost wanted to see more of them and more of Riri with that group.
Yeah, before things went to shit.
Right. But again, it's not something that they did. It's that something I wanted more of because I started to like get invested in that.
I also think it would have done more for the emotional impact of him pushing everyone away at the end if we would have seen more of them together. I think we should have gotten at least 3 more episodes.
Oh, yeah.
To explore stuff deeper. 6 episodes, if you're looking at it from a movie runtime perspective, that's a lot of time, but like it just didn't feel like enough for me.
I agree. And I think that's where I think we're going to start seeing these 9 to 12 episode seasons more. Yeah, sort of like what we saw with Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah.
I think, again, this was like one of the last things before they have like this final restructuring in place, So yeah, there's only so much time they could have, but ultimately I think they utilized it very well. Again, the first episode is what it is, whatever, but the rest of it, I do think they utilized the time as best as they could. And I think it's pretty successful overall. Again, it's just something I think they could have easily fleshed out some of those storylines, but nothing that I'm like too upset about. Yeah. It's just something I would have liked to have seen more of as well. I really love the crew that they had. We got Zeke Stain up in this bitch.
Now, when I tell you, okay, so we weren't in like the theory realm before this came out. So we didn't really hear much about any of it or like what people were predicting to happen. And when we first started seeing, what was his name?
Joe McGillicuddy.
Joe McGillicuddy. I was like, okay. In my head, I'm like, who is, because he mentioned it was something he bonded with his dad over.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, who's in tech and white and like an older man?
I was thinking Justin Hammer.
And I was thinking that he was too old to be Justin Hammer's kid.
Yeah.
So my picks were, what's that guy's name? Eldritch Killian.
Oh, yeah.
Or
the Mandarin.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot that was him. Well, one of them. Well, yeah. Or Obadiah Stane.
You fucking called it.
And I think Obadiah was the only one I said out loud to you. And I fucking called it. I was so proud of myself. I never get stuff like that right. That's usually John's game.
Yeah, but I was like, that's too obvious. But no. I didn't think that at all. I had never. No, you called that. You were right on the money with that.
Very exciting.
But no, that was really cool. And again, we're like folding in. We're not forgetting the history of the MCU here. I know a lot of people were complaining about a line that Riri says that Tony Stark wouldn't be Tony Stark without all of his money and like resources. And people were like, Marvel forgot their own lore.
Oh, yeah, about how when Tony Stark was still had money and he went and he bought a bunch of parts to make his suit out of like hardware store stuff.
But I'm like, here's the thing. He was still Tony Stark by that point. He had been Iron Man.
He was actually in disguise at the.
It's like, hey, the same way you could have a super smart kid if they come from an impoverished neighborhood, the likelihood of them reaching that same status and level of fame is lower. That's what the show was saying. She's
saying that he would be like me.
Right.
Still smart. Still doing it, but
the English teacher in me. Is like, how do we not pick up on themes, people? You learn it in 4th grade. Anyway, you all right over there?
Yeah, I dropped something. I'm trying to pick it up with my toes. Perverts, don't think about that. Don't think about that. Don't picture that.
Let's talk a little bit about the Hood. Anthony Ramos as the Hood. Listen, one thing I was, from the jump, from the very first episode, one thing I did say that I was excited about was pitting this like tech-based hero against the more supernatural villain. And I still maintain, I think that's one of the more interesting things that this show does successfully.
Yeah. I also think they handled really well because we've seen Doctor Strange, we've seen Scarlet Witch and all of that type of magic and how different those two look from each other. Mm-hmm. And again, we have not a lot of time in this series to branch into something as like crazy as magic. And after the scene where they were in the magic shop for the first time, I was like, they did that so well.
Yeah.
Because that could have been so, again, clunky, having to like over explain like how we got here, what magic is, all this other stuff that we know because we know about it from the other properties. And yeah, it was just really, really well handled. Which was impressive because I could see that being more of a worse scene if it hadn't been well written.
I was gonna say on that note, like that specific scene, I think it was like episode 4 where Cree Summers, who I love that she's a sorceress, and I love that she's in this show and that she was wearing her same hat from Abbott Elementary. I'm assuming she just wears that.
That's her hat. Yeah, she just wears that. It's like part of her look. It's iconic.
Yeah, I had no idea. So, yeah, that scene is so well done. Just the jumping between realms, explaining, just recapping what Camartage is and, what kind of magic they do versus sorcery. And I don't know, and we did get a whole series, Agatha all along, delving into like witchcraft. So kind of differentiating what they're doing here a little bit from each of these other things we've already seen, really setting up that what I think is a very exciting possibility for the MCU, which is exploring the supernatural. Mm-hmm. We saw it in Agatha all along, which is really a self-contained story for the most part, but seeing how this is playing out, seeing, jumping back to Mephisto, where this can go, like it's all very, very exciting. And I think we're on the money again. This was such a well done scene, well written, just in terms of like recapping and just sort of bringing the audience in on this new form of magic that this girl created essentially. But also, like, it was just shot really well too. I don't know. I love just the seamless transitions between dimensions and going back in the shot
and her
and going
doing
here.
magic is cool. I also think that, like, magic is, from what I understand, like, such a not. I feel like there are a lot of, like, African American spaces and regions, even religions and, like, spiritual beliefs that involve magic or, like, voodoo or stuff like that. So it's really cool to see some kind of, like, mystical, magical stuff practiced by Black people in the MCU. Because up until this point, we really haven't gotten that, except for Chiwetel Ejiofor. But that's different.
I think her name was Jennifer in the show, in Agatha All Along.
Yes. And that would have been really cool if she had popped up in
that would have been cool.
We're in different parts of the world.
Right. And again, I mean, they really do point out that, you know, God, I can't remember Cree Summer's name in the show, but she was training in Kamar-Taj, so she was learning.
Yeah, and she dropped out
sorcery
to have her child.
Right. Which I guess could be different than this form of magic we're seeing play out in front of us. Which, again, to know that there's different types of magics out there is really exciting.
Yeah, it's like homeschool magic is what she's working with.
But that was awesome. But yeah, I think it's something really cool to be said. I know we said we were going to talk about the hood, but I want to talk about this a little more.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about the hood.
I think it's really cool in this show that we see that, you know, Black representation in magic, witchcraft, whatever we want to call it right now, but also in tech. Like, it's, I don't know, it's just, it's a real, what I can only assume is just a really, if I'm viewing it as like uplifting and like powerful to like see that in such a popular brand that is Marvel, like you love to see it, you know? And it's really cool that you have someone who, listen, Anthony Ramos, I will give you your credit for burying that New York accent of yours as much as you possibly could.
I was going to say,
because that boy, no matter what, he's always going to read street. That boy's always going to read street.
A little bit.
So, but again, I mean, it is also cool to see someone like that with this powerful mystical weapon, essentially, that is the hood. Now, we got a little glimpse of the hood in the series What If? So, I mean, if you didn't watch that, then you're really brand new to it, but we kind of got an idea of how it worked there. And just to see, I don't know, like, he wasn't like us. He was given powers, but they weren't like, it wasn't something that I think made him like super like invincible, like, you know, it was an interesting, he's an interesting character.
Can you hear him?
I heard that.
Can you hear this?
A little bit, but not that bad.
Okay. I was trying to explain it to my brother in the car today because I was explaining to him everything about Ironheart, hoping that he would watch it, but I just spoiled it for him because I don't think he will.
Yeah.
So I was saying, like, his powers are, I think it's only when he's wearing the hood that he has any sort of ability. It's invisibility. Mm-hmm. And I think he does have like strength, like extra strength.
Okay.
But he turned into like a little bit of a demon at times. Do you remember?
Well, that's toward the end when it's like consuming his soul.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just I like that I don't know, the physical embodiment of like his soul being like eaten from within, and it looks close enough to what I love the Doctor Strange. For a show that's about like an Iron Man legacy character, they really involve Doctor Strange, which makes me think Doctor Strange is going to be super important moving forward. He already is, but like, especially if we're going more
Mephisto, yeah,
especially if we're going more supernatural with things, like he's going to be a big power player in this, I assume. But yeah, it looked close enough to what they did with Caecilius, Mads Mikkelsen character, to like throw you off and be like, oh, it's Dormammu, but then you find out no later. Yeah, I don't know. I like this character who's like sort of a Robin Hood type, but at the end of the day, he's really not. He's still in it for his own gain. And he's such a good actor. Like he did such a great job in this. I hope it's not the last time we see him. I have a feeling if we continue with this Ironheart story, I don't know, we recently learned this character, it does eventually become a Ghost Rider.
I think with the last scene, the end credits scene, I wouldn't be surprised if him trying to regain some sort of power results in him becoming the Ghost Rider. And
I think it makes perfect sense. Again, this is why I think they're holding Blade off so long,
They're trying to figure this shit out.
I think they're trying to get all of this supernatural shit set up first.
Which, honestly, if this seems like the more responsible way to do it, rather than pushing shit out as fast as you can, good or bad, before we've set anything up for it.
Right.
As long as Blade comes eventually, I'm okay with them taking their time.
Yeah.
Let's set it up solid.
I'm just excited for the idea of a Midnight Suns. Like, that could be, instead of, in lieu of doing like another Avengers or like Thunderbolts type thing, like the Midnight Suns, they're kind of like a supernatural Avengers.
Who is included in the Midnight Suns?
I'm glad you asked. So I do think they have a rotating roster.
Oh.
But like you have
Ghost Rider?
I believe so. Hang on, I don't want to be wrong.
Let's research a mama.
Oh, so yeah, there have been lots of people in Midnight Suns, but here are just a few names. You have Blade, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Deadpool, Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider, Iron Man, Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man, Storm, Venom, Wolverine. So like you have like a lot of
everybody
people,
in there.
You have a lot of people to choose from.
Yeah.
But like we don't have an
Venom?
Iron Man. The way they just set up Riri may or may not have made make a deal with Mephisto, imbued with the dark magic now. You have a perfect iron character to put into something like that.
Yeah.
And again, it's just something so cool that I was not expecting for this character. I thought they would have really lumped her in with, I don't even know if they're still doing it anymore, the Armor Wars movie that they were was supposed to be a series and they turned into a movie. Now I don't know what they're doing with it. I thought they would have, kind of had her stay on the tech route. But I love this, that they're having her in this type of story. This
is something that I think is really important as we go forward, especially with these, like, it's like the ones but different type of characters. Right. We have to make them unique and special in their own way. Don't repackage. Don't do a young Iron Man. You know what I mean? So if this is what we're doing to make her different and unique and stand out and be her own thing, that's just like reminiscent and intertwined with Tony Stark, then I'm all for it.
I agree.
As long as it's done well.
Absolutely. One of the last things I want to talk about is that this show also navigates Riri. Again, there's so many parallels between her and Tony Stark, which I think is obviously purposeful. But like the way she struggles with, her own like trauma, and like she's susceptible to panic attacks, kind of like how Tony Stark was with his PTSD, right?
Yeah.
And all of his own family trauma for different reasons. But, especially we as audiences, I think, have been conditioned, much to Kendra's chagrin, I know, that our women characters, especially superheroes, are like, we have to view them as super stoic and strong. But seeing someone who's like, again, this tortured genius, because she's so young, wants to do good by her family and friend, like people in her life, that being one of the things she's not in her control, and how she copes with that is just like I don't know, like you feel for her.
Yeah. It's so good. This is going to sound weird. It's so good to see a black girl have a panic attack. As a black girl who has panic attacks, it's so validating to see on TV a black girl having a panic attack.
Yeah.
And someone being like, "Are you okay?" And you're like, "No."
Right.
Actually, I feel like I'm going to die. Thank you for asking.
Right.
It's just so...
I'm freaking out because this might happen to other people.
It's just so important, I think, to demystify that and to show, especially other young black girls, like, who I think more than any group of people are told, like, you have to be strong.
Yeah.
And you can't let them ever see you weak, because the world will just dogpile you and walk all over you.
Right.
So I really appreciate whenever anything like that. I appreciated it in Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
When Tony was having panic attacks, because that's something that men get told all the time too.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful that they included that, because like if you were going through that shit, you'd have a fucking panic attack.
Yeah.
I would too. Like, that's so much, and it's so real, and it was handled really well. What's her name? Dominique.
Yeah, Dominique Thorne.
Thorne.
Mm-hmm.
She is so talented and makes it like it was so believable that it like made me like
Yeah.
like I'm stressed out about this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do appreciate that they included that and that they did it well and with dignity and grace.
Yeah, and all that to like wrap this up, just the relationships that we got to see Riri form and like develop more, even if, you know, some of the, again, mostly with the villains, we maybe didn't get to see them bond as much, and I was getting interested in that. Not that I was more interested, but I was interested in that too. I was invested in that. But I love that, you know, Riri, you know, found those people to lift her up, to help her, you know, because again, it's just, I have to do this myself.
Right.
Well, no, you don't. How they handled all the Natalie stuff. Again, I wasn't super familiar with the comic. I didn't realize how AI like centric this show was going to be. Well, what happens when we push the boundaries of AI and like, you know, people's relationships with it, and like how real is it and how unreal is it? Not that I'm pro AI for anything. I'm just saying like for the sake of the show.
A more grounded version of like Ultron.
Yeah. But even that, like just seeing their relationship in AI form and not in AI form, just
my favorite part of the series.
Yeah,
was seeing
it was beautiful.
Yeah,
it was really, really beautiful. Seeing her, the scene. There is a scene there that will fuck you up if you're not ready for it. It's a scene where she sees her old memory with her dad.
Yeah.
Not her stepdad, but what?
The dad that stepped up.
That's right. No, overall. And again, it really brings us to Mephisto, which I love that there's not like a big fight with him. I love that it's just a conversation. As an actor, I eat that shit up. I'm like, it's just two actors in a scene, and they're just...
Because it's so fucking Mephisto to not have to fight. He's like, why would I fight when I can just manipulate you completely into doing what I want you to do?
Right.
That's his bread and butter. And he's so good.
All of his stuff is shot so well, where like you're seeing what you think could be visions of like him planting visions of like what your life could be or what you could have.
Or is it a flash forward? Or
only it's a it's all done so well.
Also, the accent work. I love Sacha Baron Cohen is English, and he jumps between two different English accents and an American accent. I hope as we go farther, because he's someone who can do a lot of accents, I hope we just get a ton of fucking accents out of him.
And there's so many people he could have been working with already that are established in the MCU. So I don't know. Again, I think this show is setting up Phase 6 in a way, especially once we're past Doomsday and Secret Wars. We're really going to get into the supernatural. And I think not only is that the way to go, I think that's something very, very exciting. Yeah.
I'm excited for it too.
Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps it up for us here at Perez Periódico for Ringside. Thank you for listening. If you haven't already, please make sure you're following us on... Did you stop recording?
No.
Oh. Make sure you're following us on all socials. That way you can see what we're up to. Make sure you're following Ringside with John and Kendra wherever you stream your podcast. Make sure you're following, subscribe to us on YouTube, all the stuff. And hey, guess what? We do live streams every single month, at least one. Although with WWE schedule, we're going to be doing them 7 days out of the week. We do pre-preview, which is our WWE-centric live stream where we talk up and down the premium live event card, make predictions, and chat with you all while doing so. Sometimes we'll pop on there to do on Twitch and TikTok. That's where we stream. Sometimes we'll do a Ringside Live if we feel like it, you know.
If the weather permits.
But other than that, thank y'all for tuning in, and we will see you for the next one.
Bye.
Cheers.